magic world. So I don't know how much time I have.
You have 20 minutes more.
Oh, Jai, so I can tell you about Krishna.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's all for Prabhupada.
Okay.
That's all?
Yeah, no, more.
Sorry.
Yeah, in Atlanta.
You're touching it.
Yeah.
Prabhupada's feet, you guys see?
Oh, wow. Yeah, in Atlanta. This is a very amazing.
Forget Krishna.
No, we'll do another expansion of Krishna.
Okay.
Prabhupada. So one time in Atlanta, we were all preparing to go to America, to India, to Vrindavan for the opening of the Krishna Balaram temple. And so all the Sankirtan devotees, we met with Srila Prabhupada in Atlanta, Georgia. And during that time, you know, there was, again, 500 devotees crammed into this little temple room, all orange, you know, this orange hull of an army, you know, and wild and passionate, you know, book distributors. Hey, where you from? No kidding, I got a brother there. Here, take a book, you know. So fired up we were, you know, surrendered. We do so much. Cold showers, breaking the ice in the winter, you know, laying on the floor, you know. Happily to do it. Cold prasadam. Eating off of wax paper, if you all remember that, you know. So one time Srila Prabhupada was on a morning walk in Atlanta, and we were hiding. We would take our car and we would follow along Prabhupada's walk by walking in the bushes, keeping up, because you didn't want to take your eyes off of Prabhupada. We always wanted to look at Prabhupada. We never wanted to stop looking at him. That was the most amazing thing. I remember that most than anything else. I didn't want to pay my obeisances. I didn't want to stop looking at him. So one time Prabhupada, the car pulled up into the driveway of the temple, which was a converted house, and there was a front lawn area of grass. So Prabhupada pulled the car, the temple car, pulled in, and all the sannyasis and everybody got out of the car, and they went to the front of the car to go along the side veranda to go into the temple. Prabhupada gets out of the car and walks around the backside, alone, walking right toward me. I'm standing in the yard. Here comes Srila Prabhupada, and I'm like, oh, you know, so scared I was, because there was such an awe and reverence of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada walked up to me, and as he passed me by, he goes, Hare Krishna, with his heavy, dirty voice. That was so great, you know. And I just dancing behind him, you know, all the way into the temple room. And he takes his shoes off, and Shrudakirti was his servant. He grabs his shoes, and I just throw mine. I'm not going to get out of the, I'm going to be right behind Prabhupada, going into the altar, going into the temple room. So Prabhupada lays down, full dandavats on the ground, and I'm sitting here, and here's his 2 feet right here. And I remember somebody saying Prabhupada's feet smelled like roses. So I crawl across the floor, and I get in front of Prabhupada's feet like this, you know. And I'm going, wow, Prabhupada's feet. Wow, Prabhupada's feet. I forgot to smell. I was so overwhelmed by being that close to Srila Prabhupada's feet. And not recognizing the time, Prabhupada now gets up from paying his obeisances. And when he does, he lays his feet right on my face, you know. And that was like that time when I wanted to touch him, because I followed that instruction. The reward later came with the full bottom of his feet touching right on my face, you know. And that was really, really special. And then I remember in my initiation, in fact, that was a very, very special time. Everybody was coming up to Srila Prabhupada getting initiated. It was the Radha Damodar bus also. Those boys were getting initiated. So there was like 75 devotees getting initiated, and everybody was doing it wrong. You know, they'd come up and reach with their left hand for the beads, and Prabhupada would say, what are the 4 regulated principles? And they'd say, I guess one guy, he said, no eating after 10 o'clock, you know. They couldn't remember, we were all frozen, you know, in front of Srila Prabhupada. So I'm watching, you know, and everybody would bow straight at Srila Prabhupada with their backside to the deities. So Prabhupada would say, move to the side, use your other hand, you know, what are the 4 regulated principles? Say it again, you know. So I'm watching, okay, 4 regulated principles, right hand, bow to the side, 4 regulated principles, bow to the side. Okay, I got it, you know. So then they call me up, and I'm walking up, and I said, bow to the side, 4 principles, right hand, you know. I'm really working on it. So Srila Prabhupada, I pay my obeisances sideways, and I get up, and I'm sitting on the ground, and he's looking at me from an angle about like this, you know. And so Srila Prabhupada, in his mind, says to me, in my mind, a mental telepathy, he says to me, so what are they? And I go, well, you got to ask. You know, you got to ask. You know, publicly, you got to ask. You know, and then he's not. His face is, you know, solid, grave. You know, so again in my mind I hear, so what are they? And now I'm getting a little scared. You know, what do I do? You know, you got to ask, Srila Prabhupada. And then a third time he says it to me in my mind, so what are they? And now I'm ready to cry, you know, I don't know what to do, you know. Oh no, do I say it back to you in my mind or do I say it out loud? I go, oh, Srila Prabhupada, you gotta ask. And Prabhupada shakes and he laughs, his whole body shakes, you know. And he says, so what are the 4 regulated principles, you know? So I said them very nicely, all 4 of them very nicely, you know. And then Srila Prabhupada, in those days, Prabhupada wasn't actually giving the names. They were given by sannyasis. They would go through the scriptures with the first letter of your karmi name, and then they would give you this number, and then it would be tagged on the beads or whispered into Prabhupada's ear. In my case, it was Satsvrut Maharaj giving names through Prabhupada's ear. Well, Srila Prabhupada whispered something into Prabhupada's ear, and he's about to hand me my beads, and I'm raising my hands. I'm being born, you know. That was the feeling. I'm being born right now, you know. And as I reach up, Prabhupada pulls him back. And oh no, did I say the 4 regular principles? If I reach him, what did I do? What happened? What happened? Oh my God, he's not going to initiate me. And oh man, I was falling apart. It was just a second, but it seemed like it was forever. And Prabhupada pulls him back and he looks at me for a second and then he goes, your name is Radha Kunda. Because of the nectar of instruction that describes the Radha Kunda had just come out 30 days before. So it was, and it wasn't what Satsvrut Maharaj said. So Prabhupada actually gave me a name from him. He gave me my name. He gave me my beads, and everybody's all roaring, you know, wow, Jai, Hari Bol, you know. And I was so frozen that I when I went and sat back down, I said, what's my name? You know, what did he say? You know, what was my name? You know. Everybody was doing that. We were all wearing tags for about 5 months afterwards. Everybody had their names on a tag, you know. What's my name again, Prabhu? You know, like this, you know. Because that American, you know, American language, you know, we never heard these Sanskrit names. Anyway, Bhakta Allen in the St. Louis Temple, he became Bhakta Vidyapurna Swami Maharaj in Mayapur. Bhakta Bill, who was the one that got me to come into the temple and live inside the temple, told me I could come in. He was Bhima Das of the Bombay Juhu temple. And the others, Chadaratman and Tamopaha, like that. So then one other time I wanted to mention is that one time with Prabhupada's miracle, the miracle of Atlanta. It was very famous. There was 3 things that Prabhupada did then. And the first one he did was, it was a Friday night, and Prabhupada came out with this 2-beat, this we never heard this before. So Prabhupada starts to sing this song, Parama Karuna Pahudvijan Nitai Gaura Chandra. Now none of us knew this song. There was only about 3 people in the whole 500 that knew the song. So Prabhupada was like totally into samadhi. He was already locked into this place wherever he was, you know. And so he like cracked his eyes open and he looked around the room and he says, you don't know this song?